Hey, wait a second. Click.
Hitting the buttons.
Go. Dustin Jarrett, welcome to the program.
I'm not here. Not here. I can't hear the words you're saying.
I hope he's joking with me.
What's going on, fellas?
You're asking him the question, Webb, and he's saying, no, I'm not here.
It doesn't matter because you know how Blog Talk will screw with you? I'm drinking Coors Light, by the way, too, so it might affect my hearing.
It usually affects more than hearing whenever I drink it. So
okay. So now that we've made me look like an idiot, Dustin, did we have to try? Did we have to try real hard to do that? I fly that flag. So we get to Minnesota. Speaking of mishaps, we get to Minnesota, and our adventure starts early.
It started very early. Yeah. Folks that don't know Michael Rigsby would I'm sure appreciate his sense of humor when in the way that he treats his employees. Is that a fair way to put it, Webb?
Yeah, I guess. I agree.
Because we get, for the folks that hadn't heard this story yet, and Ben and I alluded to it a few times during the pay-per-view, we flew into Minneapolis to the airport, obviously, which is where you fly into.
Quit using my material.
Right. And Todd Turner is for whatever reason taking the megabus up there. Well, when Michael Rigsby was setting up the rental car reservations, and this is why he needs Amber or someone to serve as just his full-time secretary for him, because he got the rental car reservations switched around. So Todd's rental car reservation was at the airport, and our rental car reservation was, of course, in downtown Minneapolis, which is what, 10, 12 miles from the airport?
Well, we took a train ride, and we got to visit with the Twins fans.
Yeah, several of them.
As soon as we step out of the train and start meandering our way through the metropolis, and it is metropolis, that is Minneapolis, it starts to rain.
Yeah.
So here's three homeless guys with suitcases and laptops in the rain looking for, and we have no clue where to go. And if it wasn't for Magellan, which is our code, that's code for Dustin Jarrett, we would have been in the wrong direction going to the car rental place. So anyway, we get there. Hey, Dustin, give us some talk about the weekend as a whole at the Speedway.
We joke a lot. We rib Michael a lot about things like that, and Ben and I's trip back to drop the rental car off as well, which is a whole other excursion. But in all honesty, it was a really cool weekend. It was just the camaraderie between everyone and things like that, and there's no cliche out there, and I hate to use cliches. There's no one out there that says, if you enjoy what you're doing, you never work another day of your life, and that's really and truly how Cedar Lake is, because, you do. You enjoy the people that you work with. We all get along really well. A lot of us will spend time together away from the racetrack and stuff, and the cool thing about it is everyone is awesome at what they do. Whether it's Webb or Derek or someone that is on cameras, or Terry or Steve or whoever, whether it's the guys that are doing production or audio, everyone is great at what they do, and that helps. It really does. Now, with all of that in mind, you got a few cards in this as well, and guys that like to play jokes on each other and things like that. So when Ben Shelton and I are on the air broadcasting to the millions and millions of people that are watching this broadcast, we've got the two guys from production barking things on our ear and talking about lion porn and all this other stuff. And so if anyone was watching the pay-per-view and you saw us, biting our bottom lip when we were talking to Brian Shirley, or just all of a sudden start busting out laughing when we were just talking to each other, that's probably what it was. We weren't making fun of anyone or anything like that. We were laughing because there were things being said in our ears that would make women and children blush.
Well, before we get to the lion porn, Let's talk about the actual racing, because we will talk about the line pour before we let you go.
There was a race. There was a race poured on there.
There were some cars. There was a few cars that showed up.
I guess I must have missed that part, huh?
So now looking at stepping back and looking at the whole entire weekend. At the start of it, I call him Hacky Sack because I can't pronounce his last name. But would you ever would you ever predicted him to be on the pole at that event?
No, and I mean, Frankie's a very good qualifier for one. We'll throw that out there. And I talked to him and some of his crew guys about that earlier in the weekend. So I mean, everyone knew that Frankie was a good qualifier, but when he went out there and won that dash and beat, Darrell Lanigan and Rick Eckert and Jimmy Owens and Billy Moyer, I mean, he's beaten guys in that dash on Friday that, I think that's the thing that surprised most people. Not that he went out and qualified well, but that he won that 15-lap dash and put himself in the position to start up front in the A-main. And then, when you look at the $50,000 win feature, there's not a lot of guys, myself included, that really thought he'd stay up there. I mean, I think everyone thought that he'd drop back somewhere, around the 8th, 9th, 10th spot. But Frankie, he ran in the top 5 for the entire 100 laps and came home with a top 5 finish. So it was a real good weekend for the Orland Park, Illinois driver.
One of my listeners is wanting us to switch speeds just a little bit here. Obviously, Lanigan, class of the field, once the race was underway on Saturday night, he had some competition. O'Neill was definitely coming. From your guys' standpoint, I'm worried about framing this up. I'm worried about what the next shot's going to be. But from your guys' vantage point, did James take O'Neill out?
He got him, and if you read the post race interview with Dirt on Dirt, Scott even admits that he got him. Now, was it intentional? No. It looked to me like that Scott got in the corner just a little bit harder than what Don did. Don was kind of coming down the racetrack as Scott was getting ready to pivot and set his car up, and they made it, and it was really slight contact. I mean, it wasn't like he came in there and bounced off Donnie and used him as a guardrail or anything like that. It was just two guys running two different lines that set their cars up in different places in the corners, and I, as much as anyone, I would love to be able to stir the pot a little bit and tell you, he went in there and bonsai'd him and took him out and, got a big feud going or something. We love those kinds of storylines, but the honest truth of the matter is that he came in there with a different line than Donnie did, and his right front clipped Don's left rear, and that was that.
And Don was like driving the absolute hell out of that car. He had slapped the wall twice before that. Yeah. Donnie
was he was driving that car into the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport a couple times before he cocked her sideways and got it set up for the turn.
Well, all right. Well, so let's switch gears and put the attention a little bit on you for a couple minutes here. You're the voice of Eldora. What is it like to call races in like the Holy Land, so to speak?
It's something. It's the thing with Eldora, man, is that there is something different in there every single week. So I mean, it's 1 week it's got non-wing sprints. That's what we had the last race. This week coming up this Saturday, we've got modifieds and stocks. The next race after that, we're going to have late models. So I mean, it's maybe 1 week it's wing sprints. So it's something different every week. It's helped me kind of diversify myself a little bit. Whereas before, I mean, and still to this day, I mean, I'm true late models. I grew up with late models. That's my passion. But it's given me, I guess you could say, an appreciation for the other classes out there, and every race has a different atmosphere to it. You know what I mean? Not every race has that World 100 type feel. I mean, coming up this Saturday, we've got Family Fun Night where kids 12 and under are free. The drivers do a huge autograph session. They pass out candy to the kids. They'll have clowns there and like the giant pop-up, inflatable, bouncy, toys and all of that. And it's all centered around the kids. And so, that's a different atmosphere than what the King's Royal was a few weeks ago. So every race there is different, but it's cool, man. I mean, there's a lot of nice perks that get to go with it. Get to meet a lot of really cool people and stuff, and it's fun. It really is. It's a lot of fun. It's a good way to put it.
Well, certainly you calling the races there is the definition of living the dream. Everybody says that in our sport, and living the dream has got to be calling races at Eldora. Real quick, you have a very good blog that you put out. Mention your blog and how people can find it.
Yeah, putting on a show, and that name derived from a column that I used to write in several different racing publications over the years. And long story made short, one of the racing publications that I wrote for was sold to Area Auto Racing News, an East Coast, kind of a Northeast publication. And when they took it over, nothing against the guys, but they really wanted to change the way that I wrote. They wanted to change what I was writing about. They changed the name of the column, and everything about it changed. And it just wasn't me. I mean, I'm a fairly straight shooter. I try not to sugarcoat a whole lot of things, and they were very politically correct with stuff and things like that. So I started my own website, started my own blog, and the website is simply puttingonashow.com. Puttin is Puttin onashow.com, and it just allows me to write as often or as little as I want to, and talk about whatever I feel like talking about, whether it's a race that I went to, whether it's a pressing issue or controversy in the sport, or whether it's Jack Johnson, or whatever I want to talk about, I can talk about it there in the blog, and I don't have anyone to tell me how to write or what to say or deadlines or anything at all along those lines. Actually,
that's a great segue to our next guest, because did you hear about...
Are you talking about Jack Johnson?
Jack Johnson's coming on right about...
I keep hearing all kinds of stuff about this guy, and I'm trying to figure out what's the deal. Why isn't he coming to the North-South 100?
I tell you, I've heard a lot of things about Jack. All right.
I talked to Ben Shelton today, and
did he tell you what he told me?
Yeah.
Ben tried to interview Jack. You know this.
Yeah. Well, he put it on record.
Down.
Yeah, we talked earlier offline. He was just calling to give attaboys and this and that about the weekend, and then he dumps this on me. I said, "Look, dude," I said, "that dude approached me because he thought I was Rigsby, because he said he could." So anyway, so I actually got Jack Johnson. He's on hold right now, but Ben Shelton has pre-recorded a message. So once we get conclude with you, we'll bring Jack on and start. So don't quit listening by any means.
All right.
Certainly. But Dustin, really, really great to have met you. I've followed you for the last few months, knowing we were going to work together. So, like I said, just an extreme pleasure to finally get to meet you. I got to get to Eldora, hang out.
That's right.
You can get me the Euchre seats. I don't care.
I was going to give you the Coors Light seats.
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, if there's a sponsor. But thank you for joining us, and like I said, we'll keep tabs on you, and you're welcome here on the program anytime.
Hey, no problem at all. I appreciate it. You guys keep on keeping on, man. You guys do a great job, and I'm a fan of anyone that helps promote our sport. I don't give a damn what you do. If you're helping promote our sport in any way, shape, or form, you have got my utmost respect. I don't care if you're a radio host or a blog writer or a driver, just a fan. Anyone that supports our sport has got my full attention. So you guys are at the top of that list. You guys keep rocking.
I appreciate the kind words, brother. Mr. Dustin Jarrett, you guys can check him out at puttingonashow.com. His blog comes out every week. You have an email list, right? You can get on?
Yeah. If you get on there, you can sign up for it. And I don't know how it works. I write the damn thing. So you can get on there somehow, I think.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time, Dustin. Dustin Jarrett, the voice.
Hey, do I get a chance to talk to Jack Johnson when he gets on, or I just have to listen? How's that work?
I'll tell you what. Let me just put you on hold and let me bring him on, and let's just ease into this thing with Jack. Okay?
You know what I heard about him,
dude. Hey, Webb, just let DJ stay on here with us.
Okay. Let's just see how the okay. Coming to the.
We'll know if it's going to go haywire.
I'll listen here for a little bit.
Okay. So coming to.
Has to say.
Coming to the program right now, I'd like to welcome to the program. He's a late model pilot out of Hibbings, Minnesota, Mr. Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson, welcome to In the Dirt.
Thank you, Webb. Very happy to be here. Love you guys and what you do for the sport. Now,
okay, there's much been said about Jack Johnson and the 68 Killer chassis. What does the world need to know about Jack Johnson?
Jack Johnson's a winner. I mean, through and through. That's all I do. I win. I don't take shit from anybody. I mean, just talk to Bloomquist about what happened a couple of years ago. I mean, he doesn't even mess with me anymore.
Okay, so I've done some investigating. In 2006, prior to the Cedar Lake National, the USA Nationals, you guys had an altercation in the pits in 2006.
Oh yeah, he was running his mouth once again, like always. I mean, let's be honest, everybody knows Boomer and and what he's all about. So I had to get held back by my pit crew, but he's lucky I didn't whip his ass because he might not have won that night. And go ahead.
I'm lost because okay. Brian Gray, I'd call Boomer a dick earlier. I thought that was excessive, but this guy's called my whooping his ass.
This guy's called him a dick. And now Jack Johnson, you were going to whoop his ass, but you didn't whoop his ass.
Yeah, I got held back. There were some kids around in the pits, too. I didn't want to, put on a show for them.
Well, all you have to say after that is sorry, kids.
Hey, it sounds to me like somebody about got Campanovo'd in this deal.
Yeah. Okay. Side note: there was obviously a side note to everything this weekend. Before the storms, there were some extracurricular activities in the pits, and Capanova might have got into a tussle. Allegedly got into a tussle. Allegedly. But back to Jack Johnson though. So this weekend, you guys you were there. They said 53 cars were there, but there were 54. You guys didn't make the show.
We didn't get in.
But you guys had some problems. It's been reported that some lead ballast was found on the speedway. Do you guys know anything about?
I lost some lead weight. I may or may not have lost some lead weight on the track. That's allegedly, again, another alleged incident.
So it could have been yours?
That's a good assumption.
Well,
put it that way. The lead weight that Bloomer just happened to run over, yeah, you could have probably found that missing from my car.
So nobody knows. Really,
I'm pretty sure that he did have some comments for whoever lost the lead weight.
Yep.
Well, you think that could have opened some old wounds or something?
Very likely. Very likely. We've got toward history. Not too close.
Okay, so real quick here. Ben Shelton and Dustin Jarrett were doing pit reports all weekend long, and I understand that
Dustin Jarrett is a professional. Let me just say that.
Well, he is, and so's Ben, though.
Sometimes he's a small professional, but he can be professional.
Okay. So up at the Cedar Lake Speedway this weekend, Jack, what was the women's selection like?
Well, it's Wisconsin, so let's say they're on the most part on the larger end. Few too many cheese curds are being consumed, and Bud Diesel. So there's some large women there, unfortunately.
So no luck on the backside, huh?
Oh, I had some luck. There's always a few that you find. Don't get me wrong. I found a nice redhead that I chatted up for a little while. That may or may not have been a mistake.
Okay, speaking of chatting with a redhead, I want to play something for everybody real quick. So everybody just hold tight and listen. I'm going to put everybody on hold. And this is Ben Shelton. He has actually a message for you. So everybody just hold tight where you're at. Let me play this message. Ben Shelton. All right, In the Dirt listeners. Kind of a bonus interview for tonight. On the telephone with us, Ben Shelton. Ben, we're fresh. We're both just basically off the plane from Wisconsin and the USA Nationals. Are you a little jet lagged this morning?
Man, I tell you, big time. It was hard getting out of bed this morning for sure. Yeah.
Listen, people's Monday mornings are usually a lot worse than ours, and we both can admit that, but it's been a long weekend, lots of hard work. Tonight I'm going to have an interesting guest on, and me and you talked offline just right before we got in this interview. What the hell happened in the pits with Jack Johnson?
Well, this guy, he's got some nads. That's the best way to put it. I mean, at first I go down there and I try to interview him to start the weekend, and he tells me that I have no authority to talk to the most interesting man in the world. And I don't know if he thinks he's got off the commercial or what, but I know he just got there from Antarctica on his hovercraft or whatever, but he totally blows me off. So I go over there to interview Eckert, and while I'm over there interviewing regular Eckert, he's hitting on my wife, and he's talking about he wants to take her on a safari to Africa, and then he starts showing her racy pictures of lions. I don't know what's up with that. And, I come back and, I think she kind of, she had to think about it for a minute. That hurt my feelings even worse than anything. Is this Jack Johnson guy? I don't know who he is. I know apparently back in '06, and then Bloomquist had a run in the pits. I can understand why, because the guy's a total head case, and to tell me he won't talk to me as soon as I turn my back, he's trying to take my wife on some safari in Africa. I don't know. Then he talked about taking her to a Toto concert. Who's going to go see Toto? That's beyond me. But I don't know. I don't know what you know about this guy. He might be your friend, but we got some issues.
I don't know. I was walking in the pits. I had the Dirt on Dirt TV crew shirt on. You guys were wearing the polos. We were in the T-shirts. And I'm setting up the pit cam. This guy walks over and he said, "Are you with Dirt on Dirt?" And I, had to look at the guy and say, "Well, it's all over my shirt and hat." And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, well, this guy's down here bugging me for an interview." And I was like, I don't know. I was thinking Todd or DJ, who? He's like, whatever. And I was like, well, I said, "Who are you, man?" He goes, "My name's Jack Johnson." And I'm like, holy shit, what's going on, bro? I said, "Let's talk for a second." Told him about the show, and I was like, "I need to get you on." I said, I've heard lots about you, but let's you tell your story. No clue that he was talking about. Well, he didn't mention hitting on Cheryl, so that's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know what the guy is. It tells you what you're dealing with when a guy's got line porn on him, though. Who carries that around? It's funny, but it's not. Because, and then he told my wife, he said, "You haven't lived with me, you've seen lions mating, and we should go to Africa together." And, I was I'm amazed that she even told me about this. It made for an awkward flight home, I can tell you that. I don't know about this guy. If he came up and talked to you, clearly I don't know. He's just a head case.
I guess I don't know. Yeah, because I was just basically Rigsby bitch. They're putting all these cameras up. So yeah, I don't know. I apologize. Certainly nobody should treat you like that, especially hitting on your wife. But that's not cool. So anyway,
I encourage people to get on this guy's Facebook page, find that, because I found it today. Get on there and let him know. You don't treat people like this. It's just you don't do it.
And I've been kind of researching today. He has a blue and white '68 car. I believe it's a killer chassis. I'm not totally 100% sure on that. But yeah, he's got a Facebook page. Hibbings, Minnesota, where he's from. Well, all right, Ben. Real quick before I let you go, just give me 30 seconds on the weekend.
Hey man, it was a great time. It was great weather. We had the big storm, but at least it happened between racing programs. A big crowd, great field of cars. Life was good. That's about all you can say about it. If you ever get a chance, go to Cedar Lake Speedway and check out all the highlights at dirtondirt.com.
Well, that's Ben Shelton. He was the pit reporter for the big pay-per-view over the weekend. Ben, thank you for joining us here on In the Dirt. All right,
no problem, man. Take care.
All right, so there's that. Now let's bring everybody back real quick. All right, now Jack, are you with us? Jack, you back with us, Jack?
Oh, I'm back with you, Webb. I'm back with you.
Obviously, if you have, I have firsthand accounts that he spoke with you, you snubbed him. Come on, dude, right. Really? What's the situation there?
Ben blows a lot of hot air. Let's be honest. Blows a lot of hot air. He's made one good decision in his life, and that's not letting Cheryl get away. Beautiful lady. Now, let me put it this way. I didn't want to talk to Ben because he's not the guy. Michael Rigsby is the guy with Dirt on Dirt, and I only talk to the guys. This is your radio show, and Michael Rigsby, Dirt on Dirt is his thing, so I would only talk to him.
So when
I'm too big for Ben.
So when you spoke to me, what made you speak to me? Because obviously I'm not Michael Rigsby.
Well, I didn't know. I've never met Michael Rigsby, and you look like kind of a nerdy-looking guy, and so that's why I came up to you. I thought you might have been Michael.
Oh.
That's all I hear about it. Just
Well,
wow.
I mean.
And you were covering Dirt on Dirt stuff.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So now here you are. You got you
talking to Cheryl.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I said you want to get with a real wild man. I'm your guy.
So explain. Is that one of your lions? Is that one of your lions?
It's not one of my lions. I got maybe some people might call it a weird fetish. I don't know, but hey, if you want to get erotic, you got to go exotic. There ain't nothing better than watching some lions go at it, because man, they don't stop. 24 hours every 15 minutes. What a life.
Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. Well, Jack, okay, I'm not going to keep you. We got some more guests to get to. So upcoming for you, you were going to drop back down to the Superstocks. It's the Amsoil Race of Champions qualifier. It's August the 11th, I believe. It's at the Hibbings Raceway.
Hibbing Raceway.
Hibbing Raceway. I apologize for that. And then you guys will be at you'll be taking the 68 car to the Grand Rapids Speedway for the August 31st WISSOTA Championship, WISSOTA Challenge, I believe what it's called.
Yeah, WISSOTA, yeah. Hey, by the way, for Dirt on Dirt, if Michael's listening, you need to give a little more love to WISSOTA up here.
Yeah,
he's much our stuff on Dirt on Dirt.
That's right. He only has like one show, I think. I talked to him about it. I was trying to get some information about you, and he said that I think they only do like maybe one show, but they want to do more, he said. So,
everybody needs more Jack Johnson in their life.
Before we let you get out of here, I want you to thank some of your sponsors and some of your crew guys.
Yeah, the Ryan Construction, Sammy Pizzas, J&G Liquor, SPC Printing, Hibben Taconite, New Vision Graphics, Killer Chassis. Beautiful ride. And thank Jimmy Smith and Chris Powers, my pitmen. They really handled it for me.
Rusty, don't forget about Rusty. Don't forget about Rusty.
Oh, Rusty? Yeah, Rusty does a good job. Mr. Trombone, yeah, he takes care of business, too. Sorry, that's my fault.
Well, Jack Johnson, I appreciate you taking time out of your evening. I know that you only deal with the big dogs, so the fact that you include me in that, I appreciate you, and you're welcome back here anytime. Any parting words or shots?
No, I just want to say I like what you do, Webb. Anytime you need some help, I'll be more than happy to be on. And, I listened to you last week with CJ. Man, him and I go way back. So he does, man, he's it. So
I know that there's no other way to follow up CJ Rayburn than with Jack Johnson.
Let's be honest, that's right. I mean, I am the face of the sport right now. The past, present, and future, Jack Johnson. So everywhere you want to find me on Facebook, Jack Johnson Racing 68. Hit me up. I'm not on there. The internet's not my forte, but I do have a webpage.
All right. Well, Jack Johnson, thank you very much for joining us, and we will definitely check back in with you following the WISSOTA Championship Challenge.
All right, Webb, you take care.
Now,